Hey everybody, just wanted to go over and do three quick videos on chapter 15. Hopefully this will help you out in doing some of the practice problems. So we're going to start off by just talking about a certain situation. And it says there's a problem that you did in homework for chapter 14 that said 46% of families own a car and 18% own an SUV. The addition rule might suggest then that 40 or 64% of families own either a car or an SUV. What's wrong with this reasoning? And the way that they got that 64 was simply the 0.46 plus the 0.18 is 0.64. They're just using the addition rule where it says probability of A or B equals the probability of A plus the probability of B. So the question is what's wrong with that reasoning? And the answer is there's people that own cars and SUVs. For example, me. That's kind of what we do. And so what we need to do is to figure out how many own a car or an SUV is figure out what percent own both. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we know that 8% of families own both. Now, to help kind of organize this information, we're going to do a Venn diagram. And in this Venn diagram, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look and see what we can fill in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say this circle here represents all the people that own a car, and this circle here represent all that own an SUV. And in the middle is the people that own both. And so here we're going to put 8% or 0.08 in the middle because that's what happens that's the percentage that happens to own both. Because of that, if 46% own a car, we're going to put the rest of the 46% here. So 46 minus 8 is 38%. So 38% and 8% gives us the total 46% that own a car. Now 18% own an SUV. We already have 8% there. So the other 10% would go in just the SUV. So just 10% own only an SUV, 38% only own a car, and 8% own both. Now there's one other number that we need to put in here, and that's how many own neither. And so if I think about this and I say, okay, 38% plus 8% plus 10%, let's see, that's 48, 56. Well, 1 minus 0.56 is 0.44. So 44% own neither. Now, don't ask me what neither is. Could be vans, I guess, or trucks or motorcycles or something like that. But that's what the 44% counts as, and that's the area outside of both of these circles. Now, the nice thing is we can use some new formulas here. And if you remember in chapter 14, we said if A and B are disjoint, then the probability of A or B is the probability of A plus probability of B. But this very rarely happens. A lot of times we'll have things that are not disjoint or mutually exclusive, in which case the probability of A and B occurring at the same time, like owning a car and an SUV, is not equal to 0. And if that's the case, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this formula, which is the probability of A or B is the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of both A and B occurring at the same time. This is very similar to the example we did in class where we talked about boys and girls, and we talked about seniors and juniors. And we talked about like what's the probability of senior girls or senior boys. And we double counted the seniors and the girls, or seniors and the boys, and we had to discount some of those. So that's kind of where we come up with this formula. This formula is actually on your formula sheet. If you check your blue formula sheet that the AP formulas that you're going to get with any test or quiz and on the AP test. So you won't need to memorize that, but it will help if you actually know it by heart. So we're going to do another quick video on Venn diagrams, and then one more video on conditional distributions and conditional probabilities. and then hopefully that'll help you answer some of the questions in the quick quiz. All right, thanks.